This exercise is the push jerk. So Colby is going to be standing there in the power clean or hang clean exercise position. So he's going to have his feet width apart with his toes pointing forward and slightly outward. He says once the bar is positioned at the front shoulders, be sure that we're going to check the bars even, which he has right now. All right, and he's coordinating his clothes. He's already done all those things. So he wants to keep his torso erect. All right, so as he's going down, he's not going to perform a full squat, but he's going to pull a dip, okay? Make sure that he gets a good, at least a quarter squat depth, or to catch to the power clean position. All right. Colby's also going to, I'm trying to think, I can cut it right there. Stay right there. I know. All right, let's drive. Okay. We'll go back to the bottom part. Okay. This one, let's start. All right. All right. So, as he's very ready to approach to a drop position, at the lowest point of his dip, Colby's going to reverse the movement by rapidly extending his hips and knees and ankles to move the bar upward and over his head. As he's coming back forward, he's going to bring his legs forward, bring the bar back down, and he can drop it from there. There you go. This exercise is the hang clean. So using the same stance and positioning as the power clean, Colby's going to have his knees slightly bent, keeping torso erect, his hand positioning slightly outside the hips. All right. Colby's going to have the front bar resting on his middle of his thighs like he currently has right now. From this position, with his arms extended and his elbows pointed outwards to the side and his hips flexed like he has currently, and the knees slightly to a place where just above bar the knees. So as he begins to exercise with a jumping motion by forcefully extending his hips, his knees, and ankles, he's going to what's called this triple extension motion. He's going to keep the shoulders over the bar, the elbows extended as long as possible. As the lower body joints fully extend, he rapidly shrugs his shoulders upward, but keeping his elbows extended and pointing to the sides. At the maximum shoulder elevation, the elbows flex. The elbows pull the body under the bar, and the bar should pass through the torso as possible. He's going to continue to pull the arms as high as possible. As long as those actions result, he'll have the highest hard position, which he just had. And this movement, it will makes the hang clean. This one exercise we're doing is the flat bench press technique. In this exercise, we do not have the rack here, but we're just going to use this as a demonstration. First, as Colby comes to the bench, he's going to have his feet flat on the floor. All right, he's going to lie straight back on the bench, make sure his head's not overhanging the bench. He's going to have himself as the bar is on the rack. He's going to make sure that his eyes are under the bar here. Also, he's going to make sure that he's not out too wide, putting the strain on the shoulders here. He wants to have him somewhat close to the body. He wants to make sure also to keep his back flat on the bench. All right, so as he's unracking the bar, as a spotter, you want to make sure that you have yourself follow the bar as he's bringing it down. So Colby's going to bring the bar down. That spot you're going to make sure you bring down. He's going to bring the bar down to the nipple line here. Make sure it's hitting the middle of his diaphragm. As he breaks it down, you're going to make sure that you also remember to follow that bar. He's going to bring the ball back up, making sure not to lock out the arms. And that is that image. Making sure that as we do that, we'll make sure that as he brings the bar down, make sure that he breathes. And as he's bringing it back out, he's going to breathe straight out.
All right, this exercise will be the back squat. So we don't have a rack, but Adam's going to step up to the bar there. He's going to place his hands outside of his shoulders. Make sure they're nice and even. You don't want them uneven. Then he's going to squat underneath the bar, resting the bar right there on that shelf. So you have a high bar squat. You want to rest it right there on that shelf, right there. Okay, then he's going to extend his legs straight up, and he's going to step back away from the racks. That way he can, when he initiates the squat, he's not going to hit anything. Then from there, he's going to take his hips, push his hips backwards, and he's going to sit back and down, keeping the back nice and flat, getting down to parallel, then standing right back up, driving your hips up and forward. And you'll squat back down, pushing the hips back, keeping the back nice and flat, good, and standing up. Feet placement, you want your feet right outside of the shoulder width apart for here. When it comes to spotting for the back squat, you want to be behind them. You don't want to be too close because you don't want to get in their range of motion for when it comes to the squat. If they happen to not be able to get the squat, they can dump it one of two ways. They can either, when they're down the bottom position, they can just kind of fall down and let the racks catch the weight, or they can let the weight fall off their back and let the racks catch it that way. And that is how you perform a back squat. Good afternoon. Today we're going to discuss a flat dumbbell fly. So the first thing you're going to do, you're going to grab your weights, you'll come over to the bench, you'll sit flat down. I like to place my weights right on my knees. Then from there, you just want to lay flat back. When you lay flat down, you want to make sure your head is on the bench and not hanging off. You can cause some neck issues if your head's hanging off. You want to move your weights up to your chest here. Then from there, you're going to press straight up. And you want to have a slight little bend in the elbow, so you don't want to lock out. Then from there, you're going to lower your arms down to your side, down even with your body, and then bear hug all the way back up, almost like you're hugging a barrel. Slowing that way down, right to even with the body, and back up. When it comes to breathing, you want to breathe in as you're going down with the weight. Breathe out as you're bringing that weight back up. And when it comes to spotting here, you want to kind of be right at the elbows as they go down. Because once they fail, you don't want to damage the shoulder by any means. So be right at the elbows so you can kind of help them control the weight. Make sure your feet are flat on the floor, and you'll lay flat on the bench. Bring the weight back down. Then he's going to sit up, put his weights on the floor, and that is a flat dumbbell fly.